So let's say you're a sim racer, you have a super ultra-wide monitor, and you're into the F1 games. You're trying to figure out which GPU is right for you. Is the 7900 XTX good enough to play these F1 games, or do you need a 5080? So this is F1 24. I'm just doing a quick benchmark of all the different graphic modes just to see, what kind of card needed to run at this aspect ratio, which is 32:9. The CPU we're using is a 9800 X3D. And the first graphical setting we're using is ultra high with ray tracing turned on. The top here is the 5080. The bottom is the 7900 XTX. And to be more specific, this is 5120 by 1440p. So this is 2K, super ultra wide ratio. And the top, we're getting 87 FPS. And the bottom, we're getting 70 FPS for the 7900 XTX. Honestly, both can run over 60. This is with no upscaling. So this is with TAA, because F1 does not allow for native or just no TAA or anything, and you have to use TAA at the very minimum. And yeah, these are the averages. And honestly, if you're looking to play with ray tracing, you're gonna have to get the 5080, because you'll run this with 87 FPS, but you'll probably turn on an upscaler like DLSS, and NVIDIA with ray tracing just is a lot better looking than AMD's FSR3. Now, obviously, FSR4 just came out with the 9070 XT cards, but the 7900 XTX only has access to FSR3, and in my tests, FSR3 was not very good. It just doesn't look great. Game's still playable, but FSR3 is just not a great upscaler. So, if you're really gung-ho about playing with ray tracing for this game, you'll probably need NVIDIA 5080 card, because you'll probably use the upscaler. But if you're just looking to play native or TAA, right, both cards are not a bad option. Although my preference as a sim racer is to use a lower graphical mode for a higher FPS. So that is ultra high with ray tracing on. Here are the results of both. So this is the 5080, 87 average FPS, max 103, minimum 67, ultra high, and then 700 XTX right here, 70 average, 86 max, and 55. So this next one is medium, ray tracing off. This is the lowest setting, and honestly, not sure how the quality of the video will show, but I can tell you when playing on the 5120 by 1440p aspect ratio with the super ultra wide, it honestly does not look too different with ray tracing turned off. Are there subtle qualities that make it look a little bit glossier and better? Absolutely, for ray tracing. But you can see this is without upscaling. I mean, your FPS is just shooting like ×4, ×3. So you're getting over 250 FPS on both GPUs. And this monitor has a 240 refresh rate. So both these GPUs will do a great job. And F1 has this weird thing where, honestly, the TAA resolution just doesn't look that sharp. So again, I'm going to emphasize that if you have an NVIDIA card and you turn on DLSS or even DLAA for a better image quality, or like DLSS quality, honestly, the image looks a little bit sharper. For whatever reason, for F1 24, this game just doesn't look great with the TAA on, and you can't turn it off. But at native for medium, this is really good, and you'll be great with either card, quite honestly. I don't know about F1 25, since I believe in the previews for F1 25 there's going to be a lot more ray tracing and path tracing, so that would be definitely an interesting test to do for both these cards. But if you're just looking to play F1 24, And I imagine in F125, there will be similar medium ray tracing off game modes. I mean, both can just hit the numbers you want them to. So here's the results. 5080, 292 average FPS, and then the 7900 XTX is 262. So really not much of a difference in terms of what you're feeling. So this is the high quality ray tracing still turned off. I believe, I'm not 100% sure how F124 does like their ray tracing, because you can turn the settings off, but it'll still show like maybe there's some car ray tracing just for the vehicle, but not any environmental ray tracing. And here it's still, you're getting 219 FPS for the 5080 and then 200 FPS for the 7900 XTX, which leads me to believe that the ray tracing is really minimal even when it's even at the high setting. Because like I turned ray tracing, if you go into the settings, it says ray tracing quality is high, but all the ray tracing sort of inputs are off. So again, I mean, both cards deliver a great performance. You wouldn't be disappointed with either. So both look great. Again, you know, upscaling is 10 times better on DLSS compared to FSR 3 with the 7900 XTX. Given that F1 is an AMD sort of based game, I believe the developers are AMD focused. I would imagine for FSR, or for the new F125 game, that FSR 4 will be available for the 9070 XT cards. Although the 7900 XTX is a little more powerful in raster than the XT cards. So, you know, again, and you can get this card, the XTX, for not too much. I mean, obviously the GPU market is not the best right now, but you can still find the XTX on Marketplace for probably $700 to $800. And again, if you're still just looking at sim racing and you're not too concerned about image quality, I mean, F1 is probably one of the most graphically demanding games out of all the sim racing games. You know, you'll be set for all the other F1 or other sim racing games. So again, this is the 5080, 219 average FPS with a minimum of 181, and then the 7900 XTX is 200 average. So in conclusion, and this is just gameplay with the 7900 XTX on the rain weather mode, and I think this is on high or medium. And it still looks great. I don't know how the quality of this video is going to turn out, but the 5080 is costing about $1,000 more than the XTX. So maybe the XTX is $1,800. Or sorry, the XTX is probably around $700, $800. And the 5080 you could probably pick up for like $1,400, $1,500. So not quite $1,000 more, but maybe like $700, $800 more. And if you're really just buying the GPU for sim racing, I'm not 100% sure if it's not 100%. It's definitely not worth paying $800 more for the 5080, just if you're doing sim racing, especially if you don't really care about the ray tracing part. So again, I think if you're a sim racer, you're super ultra wide, you're hesitant about, hey, like, you know, do I need a more powerful GPU? Do I need an NVIDIA GPU to play the sim racing games that have good experience? I would say no. You just need to buy the 7900 XTX or a 9070 XT and you'll be fine. The 5080 is overkill unless you're really trying to push path tracing or ray tracing in the next F1 game. And again, I don't know how that will be since the game hasn't come out yet. But this video, I hopefully can show you that you're good with this card, because I know there's not many videos on this game in this resolution and how it stacks up against 5080 card. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like, leave a comment. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.